the trailers worked. I've been putting Path of Exile 1 off for 10 years. I'm now 40 hours in. I'm not done with the story yet, but I'm getting there. I've been putting it off for 10 years, and now, just a few days after watching the trailers for the second game, I'm 40 hours deep. Yikes. Yeah, I feel convinced. It's a great game. It's really fun. The story's the weak part, though. I hope they work on that a lot for the sequel, because as a lore guy, it's a very just all over the place storyline in the first game, but I'm still not done, so it might get more streamlined, you know, but might get on a more straight path, but who knows? Maybe it doesn't, and maybe that's why people don't care about the story that much. We'll see, and it's not that important. What's important is that the Druid, the thing on my screen right now, is what got me to even play this game. The mere promise of a Druid is making me play Path of Exile. And from what I heard, because I watched the ExileCon 2023 panels off screen, so you're not getting that. I've seen those. What they did say in an interview is that they wanted shapeshifting so bad in the game, but they felt it didn't fit any of the current classes. So they just straight up went and made a second one for every stat attribute. Stat split, or whatever you want to call it. So we got 6 new classes because they wanted one that could shapeshift and have it make sense. So hey, I'm very happy. I'm very happy because Druid, it's my bread and butter when it comes to these games. So let's watch the Druid gameplay from 2023, shall we? It's a big bear. It's a very big bear. Now, what I saw from ExileCon,
Hi, I'm Jonathan Rogers, one of the game directors on Path of Exile 2.
What up, Jonathan?
In Path of Exile 2, you can pick...
Oh, sorry, I'm pausing this early. What a lovable dev team. Holy shit, watching ExileCon from 2023, what an incredibly endearing dev team. Wow.
From one of 12 character classes. Each character has a combination of primary attributes that they focus on. Today, we'd like to show off a character who specializes in strength and intelligence.
Okay,
The
so
Druid.
he has more animations
In
for
human form,
spells.
the Druid
Okay.
is a spellcaster who channels the fury of nature on the battlefield, a walking natural disaster.
Yeah.
But get up close and you'll find out why the Druid also focuses on strength.
Up the volume a
You can
bit.
transform yourself into one of several wild beasts. Today, we want to show off the bear form.
Okay, we're only getting bear. Okay.
Transformation in PoE 2 happens automatically when you use a bear attack. Use Bear Maul and your character will transform into a bear, into a meaty swing. Use a spell and your character transforms back into a human and casts it. Hitting enemies with the Bear's Maul attack will build up rage, which increases your attack damage, so your bear gets stronger with every attack. You can see the glowing runes that indicate rage on your back.
Oh, that's what that is. Okay, I noticed he also has an icon in the top left for it.
Have a lot of
That's
weak
cool.
enemies to take out? This is where you probably want to break out your Rampage. Let out a roar and stampede over all enemies in your path,
Hell
slamming
yeah.
the ground with your paws.
And if that's not on cooldown, I guess
Initial
it could
roar
also
generates
work
rage,
as
and
movements.
then the rage is consumed as you charge along. You can use Rampage by itself to travel a short distance, or do some mauling first to build up some rage and travel a significant distance.
Okay.
Now, while the bear is big and strong, this isn't a pure strength class. You don't have as much armor as a warrior would have. In order to protect itself from larger packs, you might want to consider a skill like Furious Slam. This skill is all about stunning rather
Okay.
than damage, so it's
Wow.
quite useful if you're mobbed by smaller monsters
So-
and just need to get out of there.
Shockwave.
Of course, like any PoE2 character, you can always use a dodge roll to get out of danger, since the bear is
Oh.
the slowest of the druid's forms. Making sure the dodge feels reliable and can get you out of any
But they said the
situation
bear
is
could
paramount.
roll. He
When you
breaks
dodge
out
an
of
enemy
bear.
form, your character instantly transforms back with no time penalty.
Oh,
So you
man.
can get out of the way. You can even interrupt a mistimed transformation halfway through.
Ooh. That's
of course,
cool.
doing this will mean you pay the slight time cost of having to transform back again, but it's certainly a lot better than dying. Something interesting about the skill is that it's faster to use if you're already standing up. If you're on all fours when you use Furious Slam, then the bear has to stand up first before slamming back down. But use Maul first, and the bear will stand up as you swing, which has no time penalty.
Again, frame data.
Furious Slam, and your bear will quickly slam down. Much more efficient.
I love the animations. My god, it looks so much better than the first game. Holy hell. By the way, shout out to the art panel from the ExileCon. That was great.
Next up, I want to talk about Ferocious Roar. Ferocious Roar is a bear meta skill gem. It allows you to take any Warcry skill that another class like the Warrior might use.
It's wild looking at this now that I understand how the game works. It's actually very weird. It's even weirder now seeing all these things without sockets on every single gear piece. Because my god, I cannot see my gear in the first game because of all the sockets everywhere. I actually get to look at the 2D art, or 3D art as it were in this case. It's, goddamn, it's so cool. So cool.
And allow you to use it as a bear.
Whoa. Hold up.
Ferocious Roar is a bear meta skill gem. It allows you to take any Warcry skill that another class like the Warrior might use, and allow you to use it as a bear.
Didn't D4 do this?
And socket it into Ferocious.
Isn't that basically the rune words in D4? But you have to bind them to gear.
Roar. You can actually socket more than one Warcry and use them all together.
Cool.
Let's just stick to one for now.
And a passive in there.
Cry
Okay.
pushes enemies back and has some stun chance. But the reason we want to use it is for a mechanic called Exerted Attacks. If there
Question. Sorry for all the pausing. This is, since I'm not good at maintaining audio levels, I'd rather pause so that I don't talk over everything, so that we both can actually experience the video. Does he just stay in bear form until he chooses to leave it?
Chance. But the reason we want to use it is
That's
for
cool.
a mechanic called Exerted Attacks. If there are any heavily stunned enemies in range of the Warcry, then your next slam skill will be powered to do double the number of slams.
Okay.
First, I use Furious Slam to stun these enemies. Next, I follow up with Seismic Cry and get the Exerted Attack. And then I slam again. See how 2 slams triggered?
Oh, double the slam. Twice the slam, double the forward.
So, that's all well and good, but how about we try that again using Rampage? First, get a bit of Rage. Slam to stun the enemies, Seismic Cry to get the Exert, and then Rampage around to do insane.
Hell yeah. Oh. Looked like he got body blocked in there.
Covered some of the bear side of the Druid, but how is he as a spellcaster? Now, of course,
how is he as a wolf? That's what we want to know.
So most of the spells targeted at the Druid tend to be things that last a long time or provide tactical options on the battlefield. The first and probably simplest of these is Lightning Storm. Cast it on the ground and you get an area where monsters are continuously struck by bolts of lightning. The bolts don't do much damage, but they shock monsters, which is a debuff that increases all damage on them, meaning it's a great spell to use before going in as a bear.
That's cool.
So, that's going to increase your damage, but as I mentioned before, the bear form of the Druid could use some defenses as well. The bear in particular is the slowest attacking of the Druid's forms. He hits hard, but if he gets swarmed too much, it will result in your death. That's why Tornado is so useful. Tornado sucks monsters in, allowing you to split up packs and deal with groups separately, or pin monsters in place and set up combos with your other skills.
Okay, oh, it stays in place.
The Tornado doesn't really move big monsters much, so you can actually use it to separate a boss from its minions too.
I mean, anything to not
Also
have to
has the
deal with
ability to
Diablo
summon animal
tornadoes.
companions. This is another really useful defense.
Even
because wolves
D2
can take
tornadoes
aggro
are
from you, keeping
horribly
monsters away.
annoying. Oh, love.
The Druid also has the ability to summon animal companions. This is another really useful defense because wolves can take aggro from you, keeping monsters away.
Oh yeah, look at that.
In addition, the wolves howl as they are summoned, putting a temporary debuff on enemies that makes them more vulnerable to critical strikes,
Oh.
and giving you a reason to resummon them in combat.
The wolves look really cool.
The last druid spell we're going to talk about today is Volcano. You can cast it quickly like this and it will spawn just a few projectiles.
Now give me
Or
more
you can hold
skills,
down the button to
please.
channel
Show
it
me
along, which will
everything.
make it fire a whole bunch of projectiles when it spawns, doing a lot more damage.
Very
Volcano
Diablo 2.
sticks around firing its little projectiles for a long time, so it's another good skill to cast before turning into a bear. Now,
It's called
the reason you're
Volcano
going to
there
want
too,
to turn
right?
into a bear after using Volcano is that any slam near the volcano results in it spewing out even more projectiles.
That's cool. Oh yeah. That's really cool.
And if you thought that was a lot, then Rampage is even better, because it does 2 slams every time it hits the ground, and you can run around the volcano.
Oh shit.
Now, if you've been paying attention, you might have realized that this is going to be extra good with Seismic Cry, which we were using earlier to double the number of slams. So, first we're going to cast Volcano. Then Furious Slam till you stun something, Seismic Cry to get the double slams, then Rampage around while the Volcano spews out a stupid number of projectiles.
Ooh, look at that.
This combo would have been even better if we'd remembered to cast our Lightning Storm first, but getting time for that seems tricky. It would also have been nice if the monsters were affected by the crit debuff that my wolves do when I first summon them. This is where some meta gems to automate some elements can come in handy. Here's a gem called Cast While Channeling. If we add Lightning Storm to the skill, we can cast it automatically while we channel a volcano as we set up our combo. Cast While
channel the
Channeling is an
volcano?
ongoing effect, so enabling the skill will cost us Spirit, which is a new resource in PoE 2 used specifically for these kinds of skills.
Yeah.
If you look at the top left of the screen as we channel, we can see the energy building up to cast the Lightning Storm. So long as we channel Volcano for long enough, the Lightning Storm will also be cast on the same targeted location.
Huh.
Currently, Cast While Channeling is active in reserving Spirit in both our human and bear forms. This means that any channeling skills we use as a bear technically will also cast the Lightning Storm. We can actually do this with Rampage right now, but it's not the best because we would prefer to stack the Lightning Storm on top of our Volcano, rather than just casting it randomly as we're rampaging around. We're also unnecessarily reserving Spirit in our bear form we could be using for something else. So let's fix that. I'm going to go into the skill options for the skill and disable it in my bear form. We showed at ExileCon how you could use skill options to control which weapon set to use when casting skills.
Yes,
But you can
you
also
did.
use the same interface to enable or disable which buffs you would like to have active in your different weapon sets too, without having to recast them all the
What?
time. And shapeshifting counts as a weapon set. Now when I change to a bear, the effect and the
Oh.
spirit reservation goes away. And when I change
Okay.
back to a human again, it's back automatically.
So shapeshifting is its own weapon set. Okay.
So, now that we have some extra spirit available as a bear, why don't we make our life a little bit easier by automating one of our other skills? This is the Cast on Melee Stun meta gem. I'm going to put Summon Wolf in Cast on Melee Stun, so that whenever I stun a sufficient number of enemies while I'm a bear, it will summon another wolf. This is great because usually when I'm stunning, it's because I'm about to do my exerted attack slam combo. When wolves come out, they howl, adding the crit debuff to the monsters, right when I need it. It also helps keep the wolves alive and summoned at all times without me having to do it manually.
And that seems crazy good. Watch it release and suck ass. Just me having to eat crow. Seems awesome though.
So,
I hope it
last but not
turns
least,
out to
let's
be
talk
good.
about the skill tree.
Yes,
ExileCon,
please.
we showed how you could dual spec your character so that different weapons can use different passives.
Oh yes.
Well, as I said before, the bear form counts as another weapon set for specialization purposes, so he gets a tree too. If I open my passive tree, you can
Oh!
see how I'm near a melee damage posture and a spell
Hold up.
the tree too. If I open my
Look at that druid art. They are putting the Diablo 4 druid to shame in every conceivable way. I mean, I'm just gonna add, if I can find it, I'm gonna add the picture of the bugged bear form when he like turns into bear form, but he still uses the physique of the human form, where he stands like this with an invisible staff, but he has bear fur and a bear head, but it's squished in. Like, it's actually insane how impressive Path of Exile is, and it's a shame that it's so tough to get into the first one. I hope the second one is gonna solve all of these things. Because it looks so promising. And they have such a great base with the first game that if they just pick and choose what they like and move that over to the second, I think they can make something absolutely incredible.
My passive tree, you can see how I'm near a melee damage cluster and a spell damage cluster.
Oh yeah.
By holding shift, I can allocate these passives in my human form.
Oh.
And these ones as a bear. Now, when I change between human and bear form, my passives reallocate automatically.
So satisfying.
Here we are at the Blind Beast. The goblins have enslaved a huge behemoth and gouged out its eyes. Now they're sending it in to fight you while they watch.
What have they done to this creature?
Did the druid speak in bear form? What the hell?
Sending it in to fight you while they watch.
What have they done to this creature?
I think he did. I think that was the druid talking. Oh god. Yeah, if I learned anything from watching the ExileCon videos, it's that this game is actually going to be difficult. You know what? I'm fine with that. We need some challenges in the ARPG genre. If this is the game to do it, then I'm all for it. There you go, do it. Stomp. Yeah, look at the damage. Woo. Sounds like he has a pretty decent voice actor too, the druid. I like that they add a bit of extra personality with that. Because like the druid voice still lives rent-free in my head from D2. So it begins, and all that stuff when you start the game. I hope we get some iconic voice lines in this. My goodness. Well, he has a lot of charges left on his potions, so I think he'll be fine. He's not really drinking his mana, though.
Your suffering ends here. Shameful.
And there we have it. With a little bit of customization, we have a build that can combine many different active skills to do some really interesting effects.
Very cool.
At the same time, your skill tree reconfigures automatically at the right time, and your buffs reconfigure automatically as well. You can even cast certain skills automatically.
I feel like that's gonna
We
come
also
in real
haven't
handy
lost
for the
dynamics
druid.
of combat. Many skills interact with each other, and the ones you choose to use at any different moment depend a lot on what enemies you face or what situation you're in right at this moment. And at just the right time, you might be able to combine all your skills in one crazy combo, get some satisfying screen covering spam, and do some crazy damage. Now, these are just some of the skills targeted at the druid in PoE 2. We didn't even show you the wolf form yet.
No, you
There's a lot
didn't.
more to play and experience, and we look forward to PoE 2.
Hold on.
Crazy damage. Now, these are just some of the skills targeted
Oh, look at that armor. It's like he's from Rohan, but wearing white instead of green. Look at that.
at the druid in PoE 2. We didn't even show you the wolf form yet. There's a
He
lot more to
rolled!
play and targeted at the druid in PoE 2.
It exists!
We didn't even show you
He can roll in town.
the wolf form yet. There's a lot more to play and experience, and we look forward to letting you guys try it out when we go into beta on June 7th, 2024.
That didn't happen, right? Or did the closed beta happen and the early access coming up is something different? Or did the early access... Like, did the closed beta become early access and it was pushed? I truly don't know. Whatever. Bonked the hell out of the mic. That looks great. Like I said, we still haven't seen the wolf form. Werewolf form. So that... I guess we don't know if it is a werewolf form. We know it's a wolf form, I guess. It's gonna going to be really interesting to see if they stop there or if they're going to be more. Because Last Epoch has some interesting shape-shifting stuff. It feels like their bear form kind of combines the wolf and the bear of other ARPGs in what it does. And then they have the... It's like a Scyther from Pokemon as another form. It's a very cool, like, inspired choice, I think, to step outside of the wolf and bear archetypes that we have and have had for over 20 years. I do hope they do add more than just a bear and a wolf. But if they decide to stop at bear and wolf, I'm still very happy that the druid just exists. I'm so pleased with what I've seen from this game overall so far. Not just the druid, but the entire game. It looks so good. And this was in 2023, like mid-2023. I think ExileCon was in like June, and then this came like shortly after. So maybe ExileCon was in July and this came shortly after. I don't remember. Whatever. It's over a year ago this happened. So a lot's gonna be different, I'm assuming, when the early access comes out. We have a few more classes to look at before that happens. So let's do that. I've been Chrane. Thank you so much for watching. Take care, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye.